Hi there and welcome back to 355 Code. Today we'll be continuing with our series of tutorials on how to use our new Karel program. For those of you who are not familiar, briefly, a Karel program is basically a simplified way of learning JavaScript that is both fun and visual. And today we'll be covering the concept of promises and some of the more advanced Karel commands. If you're not sure how to open this Karel program, or you want to go over some of the basic commands, you'll see links to those videos below. But this is a slightly more advanced video, so you might want to cover those beforehand. So let's dive right in. So here on the right, you can see the Karel interface, and here on the left is where we will be writing our code. If you've downloaded this to your computer, then you'll be writing it in the JavaScript file. And if you scroll up slightly, then you can see some of Karel's commands. And today we're going to be covering these two commands over here, which is Karel is front clear and Karel is facing. And in previous videos, we've covered move, turn left, turn right, and some of the more basic commands. But these two more advanced commands you can see are a little more complicated, and that is because they use something that's called a promise. So let's write an example and also explain along the way what a promise is. So let's start with Karel is front clear. So dot is front clear. Okay, so basically this is a method, a function, something that Karel can do, which checks if the direction in which Karel is facing is clear. So if you want to know what direction Karel is facing, you can actually just use Karel.direction. Okay, and I'm going to comment out this Karel is front clear and then run our code. So to run, you have to first run the solo learn code and then click run over here. And then you see in the console, we can see he's facing east. So basically what we want to check, is east clear or is Karel facing a wall? For example, if I was to do Karel.turn left, okay, and then run our code again. So now, theoretically, if I was to run is front clear, then that should be false, okay? And we'll take a look at that in a moment. So what is front clear? So is front clear, okay, basically is telling Karel that he needs to go and check something, okay? Is the front clear? And this is a process that takes time, okay? And you can imagine that Karel has a lot of stuff that he needs to do to figure it out. It's not something fast like move or turn right, okay? There's some thinking that has to go on there. There's some time for the calculation. So basically, the way that functions that take time are managed in JavaScript is something called promises. And basically, you have to use a special set of commands in order to tell the code to wait for the calculation to be done and only then to do something else. And the way to do that, if you take a look at what's written here in the commands over here, then it's using something called .then. Okay, so you can think of it as that .then is telling it, okay, wait for these calculations to be done, okay, and then run a function, okay, and that function, okay, so a function can be written, like this, and in modern JavaScript, we can also write a simple function that's only the parentheses and this arrow, okay, with the curly braces. So we're telling Karel, okay, check if the front is clear and then do something. And here, okay, we're gonna get a result, okay, from the checking, okay, and this result will be either true, will be either equal to true or it'll be equal to false, okay? That's because of how this function, this Karel method works. Okay, so true will mean, okay, the front is clear, you're good to go. False will mean, no, we're in front of a wall. Okay, so let's say we're just going to console.log result. Okay, so we're checking if the front is clear, and then we are going to. Okay, so don't forget to click run and then run again over here. And you'll see here, so we have east because that's the direction that Karel is facing, and true, okay, because the direction, the front is now cleared, okay. So now if I uncomment this turn left, okay, and then we check if Karel's front is clear, and I run the code again, then we get false, okay, because the Karel has a wall in front of him at the moment. Okay, so one way that we can use this code we'll be looking at in a future video when we take a look at while loops. But basically, within the function that we run, if Karel's front is clear, we can say, for example, if result equals true, then console.log, then, for example, let's say Karel.move. Sorry, this should not be capitalized. Okay, so, and else, okay, Karel.turn right. Okay, just a simple, and I'm going to format this code. So I'm going to turn off this turn left by commenting it out. And let's try running the code again. Great, so you see Karel moved 1 forward because the result was true. Okay, but if I make Karel turn left first, and I run the code, you'll see that Karel turns left and then right again, okay? Because this was false. So we entered the else statement and Karel turned right. Okay, so that is how to use the front is clear command for Karel, okay? And that is a basic explanation of what a promise is in JavaScript. And now I'm briefly just going to show you how to use Karel's other advanced command, which is facing. Okay, so that basically checks if Karel is facing a certain direction. So is facing, okay, and then here we're going to take a parameter. So this has to be one of the directions, north, east, south, or west. And now I know that Karel is facing east, right, because we checked our direction before. So let's say east. And then we do the same thing of checking the result of the promise. Okay, because Karel, it takes him time, he needs to go and look, okay, which way am I there facing? That's a process that takes time, so we're using a promise. And then here we can say, right, console.log results, just like we did before. Okay, so if I run this code, then it comes back true because Karel is facing east. Okay, but if I was to change this, let's say to north, okay, we know Karel is not facing north now. And then I run the code again, false. Okay, and then you can do certain things with Karel based on which way he's facing. And we'll see more advanced uses of that in further videos. So I hope you found this informative. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.